Hi folks, I'm back again just in terms of the casing for the battery snap and the PCB, as well as the other sort of assemblies and components. I've 3D printed this and I noticed there were some problems which I'll just discuss, and there needs to be some changes as discussed with my technician. And some of the things include, for example, the fact that this lid here, which slots in this way through a slot there, which has been created, when you slot this in actual fact it sticks out. So I've made this bit too long, sort of like you can see that, how that, and that actually kind of pushes into the battery, so that the battery snap doesn't actually fit snugly in there when that's in there. So that would need to be changed. Also, this slot here, the top part of this slot actually broke off because it was quite weak. This was the only join to it, and also this was the way it was printed, the orientation it was printed made it slightly thicker here, and it was difficult to remove that material. I would have needed to file this down quite a lot. I should have printed that upside down. Secondly, the measurements that I had at the time were incorrect for this push to make switch. So this is actually the dimensions of the push to make switch here. As well as that, I noticed these cable sort of fittings or cable tidies themselves within the cable tidy for the wires of the LEDs and so forth. This was too weak and this just snapped off. So there's like quite a few changes that I want to make. Also, my technician advised me to make the casing slightly larger because the PCB, it fits a little bit too snugly. I want to keep this relatively the same size because actually the battery fits in there really nicely, very snugly indeed in this area here. And I was kind of working with very kind of close tolerances, but I think here we'll have to have a redesign. Also, he was suggesting that these bits here, maybe we just kind of cut this more into a sort of a slot. So those are the changes that I've outlined, and I want to just get started on this. This is going to include probably a complete redesign of this part here, which is okay. And he was also suggesting that I make this all the same sort of length and also height. So I'm going to get to that straight away. Also, I'm thinking I might make actually just a lid for the entire top bit instead. So I'm going to start off by just getting rid of this, by getting rid of this, and well, I might keep that actually just to the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I'm going to ungroup everything. Let's get straight in there, and let's just get rid of, if we can get rid of that completely, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. I like the way that this is very nice in terms of the sort of nice tight fit of the 9-volt battery. So I want to keep that, and I want to extend this wall out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, okay, and we've also got a base to think of as well, my goodness, so we're going to have to maybe get rid of the base as well. Let's have a look here. They're also suggesting that, he was also suggesting that I get rid of these. Let's get rid of that. Good, get rid of that, get rid of that. Kind of in a way, kind of reducing this down to sort of like more simple, you know, building in a bit more possibly simplicity to this. I want to keep this. He's got a suggestion which I quite liked, which I'm going to include. And let's see, we've got this little kind of, okay, we've got this here, we're going to get rid of that as well. And let me see, we'll get rid of the base as well. Yeah, that was actually came out printed in the design as well. Let's get rid of this bit down here. Can we ungroup? We need to ungroup this maybe again. Can we get rid of that bit by itself? Let's just grab the whole thing from below. And let's do group again. thing. Like this. No. Okay, doesn't like that. I'll grab that separately. It's because it's floating, it's a bit more difficult. Okay. Let's take everything down to the floor. We can just group this whole thing again. These are kind of, this is the, I suppose you could say this is the bare bones of the thing that I want to take down. Let's take it down. Okay, we want it down on 0. Good. It's saying it's 0. We actually need to bring that down to. There we go. Now we're sitting on the work plane. It's because that's still there as well. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Yeah, I think get rid of that. Same thing on the other side. It's just sticking through our work plane. Good, great. Okay, so now we've got something to work with. I would like to try and get rid of this little door here. Maybe I'll just take this out of here. Is there a way of taking that out? Here we go. Good. Let's take this back in. Before I do that, I'm just going to I can just do this, can't I? I can just do that with this here. Let's align them. There's obviously loads of different ways that you can do this. This is the way I'm doing it today. You'll probably end up doing it a slightly different way, which I hope you do. I'm going to group them together. Good. Alright, let's take this over here. Let's grab this thing. Let's group that thing by itself. That's fine. I was happy with that. And let's take this and this and we'll group them together, or we'll align them, I should say. Line up. And hopefully with our backspace keys touches. That looks, let's have a look at him, zoom in a bit. That looks fine. Join those two together. Nice. Okay, good. Right. Right, okay, so let's take this again. And what we're going to do with this, we're going to ungroup it. Group it again. And I'm going to make this a hole. If I can just select the hole. Yes, good. I'm going to make it 52. So it makes it into a hole, 52. Let's have a look. Lock. 52. Hang on a sec. What was it before? 53. I want to make it 55, excuse me. Great, so that just cuts through that block for me. And it's good. I'm going to group it again. Just that bit. Group it. Happy with that. Nice. Okay, so this also, my technician was asking me to make this whole thing a little bit bigger, just so that there is a bit more play. So I'm going to make this 40, just to give it a little bit more play. So a couple, adding on a few more millimeters, and I'm going to make it 40. Okay, so that's nice, and this is nice and even all around. I'm going to take this, I'm going to just group that so we can use this elsewhere. Oops, excuse me. Alright, good. These I'm pretty happy with. Actually, I might make these slightly bigger as well. So that is, let's take this and let's have a look at it. That's 4x4. Let's make it 5x5. I just want to make it slightly bigger. The cables, hang on, make that 5 as well. It's 3 at the moment. Let's make that 5. Oh, hang on. what was that before? It was 4. That was, so it was 3 by 3. I'll make them 4 by 4. 4, 4, and that's going to also be 4. Make it 4 all around. Now what I'm going to do with this as well actually is that I want to add a box to it, and we're just going to make that with 4. See if that works. Good. And I'm just going to join these two together. What is this at the moment? That is, I'll make this also 4. Good. And we'll make the height of it, let's make it 10. I'm going to place this here. Actually, it's probably easier if I just align the two. Right, okay, that way, and that way. And I'm going to take the block and I'm just going to move it up. Oh, I need to come off of a line. Move that up. That's nice. It's halfway, isn't it? Great. Let's get rid of these other guys. See ya. Okay, I'm going to keep this as is for now. I'm going to group this into a shape. So that's like a hole that we're going to have in the material like that, and then on top of this we'll have the lid, so then that will act as a sort of a cable, but the cable isn't restricted or in any way clamped too tightly. Right, so we've made some changes, which is good. Right, so let's put these together. Let's put this together here. Oh, we can align this, which is great. Let's do that. Align them edge to edge. And is that they're not touching at the minute. Let's have them touching. If we can we do that? Nope. Just gonna have to do it by eye. Let's move forward with the all direction keys. That's nice, good. Alright, I'm happy with that. I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it and paste it, I'm going to turn it into a hole. I'm going to take 2mm off each side, because you remember I was doing this from the outside, so everything on the inside is also going to be affected. So I'm just going to line this up. That looks exact actually, I'm happy with that. Also what I'm going to do, hang on, what are these wall thicknesses? I need to take more off of this actually, come to think of it. I need to make that 36, because there's 2mm on either side. Cool, that's why the thickness of the walls looks different. Okay, great. And on this side, in actual fact, I want to make it 38. Ooh, okay, and move it. Move that hole back. Select the hole. It's not liking me selecting that. So undo. If we select this, and then undo. Will it stay selected? It will. I love this program. Okay, now because I've done this, when I group this, there's going to be a hole. There's going to be a hole that goes through this whole thing, which just joins. There's not going to be a wall anymore between this, so it's a complete kind of change. And if I remember correctly, I'm going to make this 19. Oh no, it's not 19 anymore. Let's check the height of this. What's the height of that? That's 19, yeah, it's saying it's 19. So the height of this should also, I see, that should be 19. We'll make this also 19. What's the height of this? Oh, it's in there. Let's make it 19. And you can see what's happening here. We're kind of making it all kind of equal height. Right, good. Happy with that so far. I think we also need to grab this over. What we'll do. I think what I'll do first is I will actually just group these two together. But before I do that, in actual fact, no, I will group these two together. Group them. Keep it nice and simple if you can. I'm going to take this over and I'm going to center it using the align tool. Center, and also I'm going to see if we can kind of place it a bit further back. Oh, we can put it on that wall. That's nice. That's for the that will be for the I'll put that down. I'm going to bring that down a bit as well, actually. That can be for the push to make switch. Alright, I'm happy with that. I can actually now kind of copy this and use it elsewhere. So copy that, paste it, and just use the arrow keys, go straight over there, zoom over there. Cool, that's going to cut through nicely. We want a couple more of these. I'm just going to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and another one. Copy, paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 13 looks about equal. I'm just doing this by eye. I'm not being too exact. I'm not too worried. Great, yeah, I'm happy with that. So those are my holes now. They've changed quite significantly. Kind of more gates, and I think I'll just combine the whole thing. All grouped. Alright, so that allows a bit more play for the cable. You know, you can kind of mess around with it a little bit more. Right, so we're going to extend this wall out a little bit here. I don't want to use that much material. I know that 3D printer will probably fill any kind of a gap there anyway, but I'm just going to put this in and just create an extra wall. So I think the height was 20, we'll make that 19. We'll make the width 2. It's all 2 millimeters. No, actually I want to make the length 2, and we want to make the width, I guess it would be the same as this, wouldn't it? It would be, well, that's now all joined up, so, ooh, that's great. I love the fact it's doing this kind of thing for the whole measurements. Right, so I'm going to just bring this in here. That looks pretty solid, and I can't remember. Let's do 30. See what happens. Okay, let's do 45. Let's do 52. 60. Okay, 60 is just a little bit too much, but that's okay. I'll just push it back. Use the shift again. Love the shift. Alright, come on. Alright, so I think what we need to do here is set up another wall. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it. Bring it out. Make it all 2-2. It was 2-2 initially. Let's make it 2-2 again. And we're going to just slide this one in here. So it's locked onto that corner there. Let's just pan over a bit. Make sure we've got this all lined up. Yeah, that's fine. That's all lined up nicely. Alright, let's just bring it over. I don't know what that is. Let's say it's 10. Okay, that's good. Alright, so that's kind of giving us an idea of how far we need to draw this other wall back. Probably should have done that in the first place. but I'm not too worried. And I'm going to take this wall again, copy that, paste that over, and just zoom this all the way back to this side. Cool. Alright, so we've kind of got a little, I don't know what you call it, a little trough in there, that's fine. And the reason I want to kind of keep this outline is because I want to keep this outline for my lid. Alright, which I still want to make. So the lid is going to be essentially this on one side. I'm going to group all of this. Group. Nice. This is going to come over and we're going to align this. And we're going to actually have to make the height 19. Make that high. Is that also sitting on the ground, or is it off the ground? No, it's sitting on the ground. Great, I did this all correctly. Alright, so that way, and that's fine. Come off the line, move this back a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks like it's touching. That's fine. Cut those together, group them. Right, great. Okay, we're flying. So I'm going to copy this now, paste it over here, and I'm going to just going to be ungrouping this for a moment. Get rid of any kind of features, any cuts that I've made. Make it simple. There we go. So let's get rid of this. And I'm going to regroup it and turn it into a lid and a base. Oops. Right, great. I'm happy. I'm not going to use this anymore. Okay, let's group it again. Okay, nice. We're going to make this height into 2, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back and ungroup it. I think, yeah, we'll keep this. We're going to keep this. That's going to be our screw hole for the whole thing. Okay, I'm just going to ungroup this again. Ungroup it again. Great. Fantastic. Get rid of these. Get rid of that. Oh, undo. Yeah, good. Alright, this, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to do this for the sake of being kind of nice and accurate. I'm just going to draw this over to there. Just maybe making it a little bit kind of neater overall in terms of the design. Just check that. Does that look okay? Zoom in on that. That looks fine to me. Ah, it's interesting. You only sort of notice some of these things afterwards, but those two screw fittings aren't actually lined up. So that's interesting. So if I was to take that by itself, I think I'm just going to leave that in because I don't want to spend ages on this. I'm just going to leave that as is. So that's our base and lid, which is great. I'm going to take this, where am I going to place it? I think I will place this, in theory I think we should get the electronics in first. So I put this actually underneath my battery because I can remove my battery. So I'm going to be putting this into the base of the battery. So I'm going to place it all together, put it all together first. But first, before I do that, I'm going to copy this and paste it. That's my lid, this is my base. This whole construction I'm going to take up by 2. 2 please. And then simply align this. Right, great. Great. Perfect. And then I'm going to group the things together. Lovely. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to place that somewhere there, for example, and make sure it's going through all the way. You could put in a couple of these if you wanted to. I'm just going to place it there for the sake of speed. I'm going to copy that. I'm just going to group everything. So that hole that goes through. Yep, that's perfect. So that's my little screw hole. And that's my lid. Keeping it nice and simple. Brilliant. So we're done. That's completely different now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on these guys for a moment. So let me just take this over. I'm going to have to ungroup this. And I'm going to get rid of some of the pieces of this as well, because I found that having a base on it wasn't such a good idea. So I'm going to get rid of the base. The reason being is that actually I think that there's some cables that come out the back end of the push to make switch, which you kind of would probably best to have free. So I'm going to get rid of this as well. Is that going to work? No, it didn't work. I need to get rid of the hole. Get rid of that first. Now this, the reason I'm doing this is going to become my new hole. I'm going to just make this shape here a hole. I've ungrouped that. I'm going to get rid of that. That was confusing to some of the students, so I just wanted to, you know, get rid of that and not have it on there. So undo. So let's just bring this up to the very top here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this as is, and I'm going to just put a box in. Now the box, I'm going to make this. Let me see. What's this again? That at the moment is 11.88. So I'm going to make the box. Let's just have a look at the distance between our between here and here. That is 16. So we're talking probably about 20. So I should make actually the base a bit longer as well. Let's move that off. Let's move this away. Move that to there. Get rid of this. Copy that. Bring it over here. Spin it round. Mirror it. Right, cool. And this itself, that's probably 20, isn't it? Oh, it's 16. Okay. And this is 11. Okay, I'm going to make the box 16. So I don't want to like have a very big. I'm trying to keep the sizes down if I can. 16. And we'll make the height also 16, just to keep things even. Oops, zoomed in. And we'll make this 16 as well, just to make it a box. There we go. Okay. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's place this on here. It's probably better for the printer if we just place it like this. So I'm going to add another, let's just see what this looks like over here. That looks good. I'm going to add another 2 to the top. I'm going to make that 18 because we've kind of lost, if that's sitting on the, let's have a look actually at this. How high is this? 2.5. I'm going to make that actually 17 because that looks a little bit on the high side. Yeah, that feels a bit better. So let's just align these. Yeah, good. Get them nice and centered. Okay, yeah, that's the reason why it looked a little bit tall. That's fine. Group those two things together. Yeah, center them. Why not? Group that together. And we're going to just align. Just take that away for a sec. We're going to group these things together. Just make sure they're aligned. Yeah, they look aligned to me. Group them. Let's align these two. There you go. There we go. and in actual fact I want to bring that to one end, bring that end, and I'm happy with that. Let's group the whole thing. Cool. So that's now the improved push to make switch holder. I want to do the same with these. I want to just make I want to make a box around this so that it's just a bit stronger. Pretty happy with most of the aspects of this one, of the cable tidies, but I'm not completely happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ungroup everything. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to grab, I think what I'll do is I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to ungroup it again. Okay, good. A bit more detail there, a bit more possibility. I'm going to take this and I'm going to make this a hole, so I'm making the whole thing bigger again. I'm going to take that off the base. I'm pretty happy with the size of this. I'm not going to extend it out like I did the other one. Just this, please. Good. I'm going to group that so. What's the distance on it? It's 26. I'll make this 10. Okay. Make it 10. Make it 10. Nope. Good. Let's bring that back over here. I'm going to join these two together. I'm going to center them. Well, this is, how high is this? This is already 2.5. So I'm going to make this 12.5. Okay, right, good. And I'm going to take this up 2.5, which is the height of the actual sort of from here to here. I'm going to, let's have a look at this. I'm going to actually make the walls also 12.5. Let's keep it all as simple as possible. I'm going to now do some aligning. Let's get that centered. Is that centered in the middle? Yes. Or is it not? It doesn't do that. Can't see it anymore. I'm going to make the length of this, of the hole in the center. I'll just move this forward. We'll make the length of this bigger just so it goes through fully. So we'll make this 15. Goes through nicely both sides, and then when we align this, it should have a hole both sides, which is, it doesn't matter what length that inside cylinder is, just so long as it goes through both sides. I'm happy with that. I'm going to now group everything. Great, and we're going to group these. We're going to align and group these two, and then we're done. Job done there. Come on. Align. What's going on here? Oh, I see. I need to just quit being so fast and do things slowly and properly. Right, okay, so we've got a little bit of this coming through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this again, and then I'm going to select everything and regroup. Oh, okay, well actually what I might do, yeah, no, I'm happy with that. Okay, come on. Okay, it's not allowing me. Let's get rid of these. Okay, good. I don't know why I keep selecting something there. Let's just go around this side. Good. And group. Oh no, I've ungrouped. See me. Group it all together, and that is done. Okay. Alright, so I just need to do 6 of those, and then we're ready to 3D print. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that's helped.